Let's talk then about life at Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp. When he first arrived at the football club, when did you get the sense that this is someone that could bring something special, and what happened to make you think that?
Honestly, the first day, I know it's easy to say that now, but I think if even the fans, you look back to his first press conference, I think straight away everybody was in and knew we're on a journey here. But for us, it was the same. First meeting, first time I met him, the aura, the presence, just everything about him really was this. It just felt special. Obviously, had a bit of background before he come at Dortmund. I can remember seeing, I think the story in the book about when we went for Carra's leave and do and went to watch Dortmund play Madrid in the Bernabeu. And I think it was the semi-final, so they ended up qualifying that night for the final to get in the Champions League. But the way they played, Dortmund, the players, like the way it was incredible to watch. And I really felt like watching it, that really suited my game and the way that I played football. So when Jurgen come to Liverpool, I was quite excited that actually I feel as though this could really benefit and suit me in the way I play football. At the beginning, it didn't turn out like that because I was injured. I'd just been made captain not long before. New manager coming in, you want to impress, you want to be there, especially as captain. So I had a foot issue, which was really difficult. Again, injury, we talk about mental health, but for professional athlete, injury is probably one of the hardest periods to go through. And I had one of them when Jurgen first came. So it was really difficult for the first 6 months, or I think he took over in like September, October time. So that first season when he come in was difficult for me. But the impact he had on the team from the word go was incredible. On the end of that season, I think we got to a Carabao Cup final, lost on penalties, and we got to the Europa League final and lost against Seville. So, but from that moment when he first came in to that was actually, you could see we were going in the right direction. And it probably wasn't until after that season when I really then was fit and playing pretty much every game.
And can you remember what he said or did in those first couple of weeks that made you sit up and realise that you were at the start of something special?
Everything. I mean, from the first meeting, and he was speaking to us as a group, just how clear he was, the understanding, his presence. You just felt as though like everybody was just like locked on,
Isn't that always the way though with a new manager? Because all of your hopes and dreams as a footballer are wrapped up in this person as well.
Yes, but Jurgen's really impressive, I think, as a person. I think like if he was speaking here, like he's just so charismatic and just a really impressive person when you meet him, really. Very self-confident. And that came across to the players straight away. And I think the first game, I can remember I was injured, but I went down to watch against Spurs, and the impact he had within the first couple of days in that game was crazy. Like the stats, the running stats, the intensity watching the game was off the charts, really. Now I know a manager can have an impact, but this impact for me was another level, really. So training sessions, I couldn't train, so I'd sort of be watching from the balcony at Melwood, or I'd go outside and try and watch training just to get a feel of what it was like. And it was just like completely different to anything I'd ever seen before.
Like what?
Just the sessions that were put on. It was just like, wow, this is just totally different to anything I've ever done. And so to watch it was hard enough. So to actually be doing it.
Anything he got you doing, you're thinking, or not you, but you were injured, but the lads, and you're thinking, what is this?
There was, I suppose, a lot of it was the intensity level of everything, was through the roof. And a lot of it was making you think about the next situation quickly, without having time to dwell or anything like that. So whether that would be like a shooting session, rather than the shooting sessions that I'd done in the past would be, you maybe played in, someone set you, finish, you know, you get in a queue or whatever, and you do little sets and finishing, and you work on it after training. But even with a shooting session or something as basic as that became this sort of, you'd be passing, then you'd be receiving one straight away, then you'd have a shot, but then the cross would be coming in, and you're just constantly having to think about. So the first time that you do it, it can be a bit of carnage, really. There's balls flying everywhere, and they'll be pulling their hair out, going, "What you're not getting," you know. And it takes a little bit of time, or once or twice, to go through it to get the hang of it. But once you get going, you're sort of watching it, and it's just happening so quickly. It was so good to watch.
For you that you were injured when he came, because suddenly all these lads have got the chance to impress this new manager, and you're thinking, hold on a minute, you only get one chance to make a good first impression.
Yeah, that was really tough.
Yeah.
Really tough, especially when I was captain of the team. So I tried my best to watch training sessions. So when I was back in, I knew sort of what was going on. Yeah. I travelled with the team to games. I wanted to be around as much as possible to take as much information from him as I could. Even though I couldn't train and play, I wanted to get a feeling for what he wanted. So when I was fit, I sort of knew and understood exactly what was needed. So yeah, I'd travel to all the games and sit in the stands, and then I'd watch training as much as I could. Obviously got my own rehab plan as well.
And is that a bit of self-preservation? Like, I'm here, I'm going to be around, I'm going to
probably
stand, I'm going to stand 2 feet from you at all times to remind you that I'm the captain.
Yeah, I think the gaffer looking back was a bit like, haven't you got rehab to be doing? Like, why are you here, sort of thing? You know, he's thinking, yeah, why is he? But I think he understood that there was probably a little bit of insecurity there from me.
But even that is great management, like,
yeah,
to allow you to feel that he understands that. I mean, I guess there was one-to-ones as well. Do you remember what was said in those early on?
Yeah, no, Jurgen's great. It was always been great on one-to-ones, you know, always makes you feel good, and you feel as though it's genuine, and he's being honest as well. So yeah, every time I'd speak to him, it would be fine and great, and it would be like, can't wait to get you back in and things like that. But then I might not see him for a few weeks because I'm not training, you know, I'm on a different schedule to everyone else. So it was difficult at that period in time. And like I say, it took probably a bit of time for me to then come back, get proper fitness, and get going from there, which probably was after his first, well, not full season, but first season he came in.
Now, dressing rooms, especially at sort of the elite level that you're operating in, can be pretty brutal places where you're feeling somebody out, you're looking for that weakness. What was the moment when, with Jurgen, that you realised that he'd been tested and you thought, this fella's the real deal here? Was there a particular incident or anything that stands out for you?
What, in terms of doubt from the dressing room?
Just knowing that this guy is credible, that he's going to take us something
special. I think you felt that from what he did at Dortmund,
right?
You know, and what he already achieved, and the way he was, you could sense that straight away. That's what I'm saying. There was never any doubt for me, really. Looking back, there wasn't doubt from the dressing room, from the players, and he was very, very demanding and intense. And at times it was a bit like, I can remember when he first come, one of the first things he changed was, normally for most of our career, up until that point, we'd just train in the morning. You know, it'd be like, come in for like 9:30, 10 or whatever, train at 11, half 11. But we're training at like afternoons, and times that, like, if we're playing on a night game, then we'd train later on the day. So maybe if it was a night game at 7:30, we wouldn't train at 7:30, but we'd train closer to that time to sort of get the body ready for that time of playing, which actually, when you think about it, sort of makes sense. So we started training at maybe 4, 5 o'clock at some times. Well,
those creatures of habit, were they moaning?
Yeah. So at that time, it's a little bit like 4 or 5 o'clock training. So you're coming in and you've sort of had a full day. And then the lads were coming in and they felt a bit lethargic, or they felt a bit tired. And especially at this time of the year now, 4 or 5 o'clock, it's getting dark. So you're going out, the floodlights are on and you're just starting to train. So I was about, this is tough. So anyway, the lads pulled me, a few of them, and said, listen, what do you think? Like 4 or 5 o'clock, could we not have it earlier? And like as captain, I felt as though like I needed to at least ask the question. So I thought, okay, I'm going to have to go up and speak to the gaffer. So I went up to the gaffer and I said, Gaffer, I said, a few of the lads are struggling with these late training times, feel a bit tired and stuff. And is there any way we could sort of train in the morning? And he sort of looked at us and said, who said that? Who's moaning about it? And I thought, I can't say any names here. I can't be chucking people under the bus. So I said, well, there's quite a few, Gaffer, and that's why I've sort of come, because if there's only 1 or 2, obviously, but there's quite a few that think earlier training. And he's just gone, well, tell them, if anybody's got an issue with training time, tell them to come and tell me and speak to me directly. So I thought, okay. That's the last time I ever go and ask for anything like that again. So I've walked out and gone to the lads and gone, you've got no chance. But if you want it that badly, just go and speak to him yourself. Well, no one ever went up. No.
Just a quick one to say thank you so much for watching this content on the High Performance channel. We would love it if you would subscribe. Most people that watch what we do don't subscribe. If you can subscribe, we can make this bigger, better, bolder than we've ever done before. So hit subscribe right now and help the High Performance podcast make a real difference to the world. See you soon.